Hey guys, so I wanted to take this opportunity to try to reshoot this video talking about Kyle Rittenhouse and talking about people's opinion of you. So basically, what I've been seeing after the verdict is you have all of these lefty, social justicey people trying to make this about race, trying to make this about Black Lives Matter, um, and just totally disconnected with reality. The facts are that this young man was in Kenosha during the riots, and three men with criminal histories decided to attack him on camera, and he shot them. Two of them died as a result. The other one, as he put it, had his bicep blown off, or had his bicep. What was the term he used? Obliterated, something like that. I can't remember the term he used in court, but while he was in court, the one man who survived, the prosecution was asking, well, did your gun fall out of your pocket? Oh no, I was pointing my gun at him. So he acknowledged in court that he was pointing his gun at Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's why Kyle Rittenhouse shot him. Um, I mean, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, how are you supposed to take that? Are you supposed to say, oh well, this person's just being friendly? Um, and one of the people who attacked him was a convicted pedophile. How like why is it that you have people on the left who are talking about Rosenbaum, the convicted pedophile, as if he were the hero in this story? He chose to attack Kyle Rittenhouse unprovoked, and he got shot. Sorry, you're dead. And if I remember correctly, it was Rosenbaum who had said earlier in that night that he found Kyle Rittenhouse by himself, he was going to kill him. So somehow, in the leftist universe, these three criminals were the heroes, and Kyle Rittenhouse, young man who was 17 at the time, um, shooting these men in self-defense when they attacked him on camera. Somehow they're the bad. Somehow Kyle Rittenhouse is the bad guy, and these guys are the good guys. You even had it where the prosecution was acknowledging that these men were attacking Kyle, and they're attacking him, they're punching him, and the one prosecuting attorney tried to say, well, they attacked him. They were attacking him with their fists. And Kyle decided to fight back with a gun. That's cowardly. He should have fought back with his fists. If somebody is attacking me with their fists and saying that they want to kill me, and I have a gun, I'm going to shoot them. Sorry. That is the way the law is in this country. You are allowed to defend yourself, and you have the God-given right to defend yourself. Yes, we are a republic. Yes, we have our government system, but our government system is subject to the king of the universe. So you got your local, state, federal laws, then you got the kingdom of God. All laws below that are subject to the kingdom of God. If God says you have the right to defend yourself, then you have the right to defend yourself. So, guess what? We have certain God-given rights, and our Constitution recognizes these. So, anyway, the Kyle Rittenhouse case it's interesting how people are reacting to it. They're trying to say, oh, this kid's a white supremacist. There's no evidence for that. They're trying to make it out like the pedophile is the hero. They're trying to make it out like these other two criminals are the hero. As these people, they are beyond the Twilight Zone. They've gone so far off away from reality. They're past the Twilight Zone. They're past Narnia. They're past, the Wonderland from Alice in Wonderland, where everything's crazy there but has its own logic. The way my dad puts it is, these people, or the way my dad is, the phrase he has used before to describe people is, they're surfing the Milky Way without a board. And it is totally crazy. It's totally insane. In this country, we have the Second Amendment. We have the right to defend ourselves. That is a right given us to by God, and it is recognized in our Constitution. The facts are very clear. But you have people out there who want to just give their opinions, and they just want to have their opinions. They don't care about the facts. This is something that I don't understand. It's something that in the Bible is called wickedness. And we see this a lot with the left. We see this, you see this on the right too. But we see this especially with the left, where you have just people having just their emotions and their opinions and their feelings, and this one is not even emotion anymore. I think the only thing that I can think of that's going on in their head is that because something is attached to Black Lives Matter, and you have the word black in the title, and it's a nice sounding name, that everything under that nice sounding name has to be regarded as good, otherwise you're racist and you hate black people. It's this totally immature way of viewing the world. And by the way, to even say that black people aren't capable of evil, that is racism. You have this racism of the left where Democrats 100 years ago regarded black people as animals, and Democrats today regard black people as children. But the Kyle Rittenhouse case, of course, he shot 3 white people, including a ginger pedophile. This has nothing to do with black and white. This has nothing to do with ethnicity. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is 3 criminals who happen to be white attacked a young man who appears to be white. He might be Cuban. He might be Hispanic. I'm not sure. And the young man decided to defend himself, as well he should. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a trial. He would have had a funeral. So I obviously I'm reiterating a lot of things people have heard on YouTube. But the takeaway is this. This is what you got to think about. If these are the opinions that people are going to have, if they just want to have their opinions and they don't care about the facts, then why should you care when these stupid people have an opinion about you? It's so easy as human beings to get so concerned about what other people's opinions are of us, and to get so lost in that, and to get way too invested in that. You definitely see it in high school. You see it in middle school and elementary school too. And people start these little rumors about people, and it's sad. Anybody who went to, especially if you went to public high school or public middle school, you remember how nasty kids can be. But it even happens as an adult, where people get very concerned about what other people think of you. And it just goes to show you what the value of these people's opinions are. If your opinion is somebody is physically attacking a young man, and he's not allowed to defend himself, if that's your opinion, then your opinion has no value. Nothing you say has any value whatsoever. And please don't take that to the other extreme. If somebody offers you wise advice, and this is a wise person, even if you don't necessarily agree with what that person has to say, if that's somebody who has a history and a track record of being very wise, then hear them out, hear what they have to say. But if somebody has a history of being totally foolish, if they want to say, oh well, Black Lives Matter, burning down the city, oh, that's okay. That's the voice of the oppressed, or some BS like that, where they want to say, oh, well, Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist. Well, what facts do you have to prove that? Oh, well, that's my opinion. That's somebody who, don't throw your pearls before pigs. That's somebody who is not worth your time. These are people that Jesus refers to as dogs and pigs in the New Testament. And there is also something else to this. Obviously, everybody knows Mike. We got a dog barking next door. See, I care more about that dog's opinion about me than most of the people that I see. Um, so anyway, get back on track here. Where was I? Um, don't concern yourself so much with what stupid people have to think. Wise people at least hear them out. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own behavior. Oh yes. So obviously, my connection to For the New Christian Intellectual is no secret. I very much support them. I've been on their videos quite a few times. I write for them very often as an author, and it's a ministry that I absolutely love. And one thing that they really helped me on was I had been around so many Christians saying, "Oh well, you can be Democrat and Republican, and let's all get along." Um, but then that raises the question: in the Bible, it says to not even eat with one who is guilty of sexual immorality. Don't associate with anyone if they call themselves a brother, specifically. So, if somebody calls themselves a Christian and they're guilty of sexual immorality, don't even eat with such a one. So, if you have one of these preachers coming in wearing the sash and they've got the gay rainbow on there, you're not to associate with this person. You're not even supposed to eat with them. I'm all for public debate. I'm all for public dialogue. I'm all for telling this person you are wrong. But that is not somebody whose church you should attend. And if you have people in the same way, if you have people who are um, going around attacking individuals irrationally like this, then that's somebody who should receive church discipline. I mean, I know that we live in an environment where people are very hyper stimulated with us versus them. But at some point, you have to be able to say, hey, there's positions that we as Christians cannot hold to, at a very minimum. If you are a Christian, you cannot support abortion. You can't. If I were part of Planned Parenthood, if I were saying, okay, I'm going to go home from church today and write $1,000 check to Planned Parenthood, and I were to say that to the pastor, I would expect that the pastor would give me church discipline. Now, and if I were saying, hey, I'm going to, I'm going to go and tell these children that they're transgender or tell these children that they're gay, I should receive church discipline for that. So why is it that when Christians, so-called Christians, do the same thing by voting Democrat, that they don't receive church discipline? So let that sink in. Consider the morality of what the Bible teaches. If we were living 200 years ago, and you had a pastor in the pulpit saying, hey, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, and we should get along despite politics, and the top political issue of the time was slavery, then we've got a problem. Yet somehow killing babies, tearing the legs off babies, somehow this is something that we can agree to disagree on. Somehow this is a side issue that doesn't have anything to do with the gospel. Really? Please, show me in the Bible where we can disagree about tearing the legs off of babies. Show me in the Bible where it says we can agree to disagree and all have our own opinions and feelings about child sacrifice. So, anyway, that's actually something I'm working on in a book that is upcoming. I'm hoping to have it submitted to a publisher by the end of the year. But I did want to give you guys some food for thought along those lines. So, go home, take this for what it is. You got the Kyle Rittenhouse case, very clearly defending himself, very clearly exercising his God-given rights, which are recognizing in the Constitution. And even the prosecution basically admitted that he was defending himself. Um, the witnesses for the prosecution admitted that he was defending himself. You have people's opinions of you saying, okay, is this a wise person or is this a foolish person? Do I really care about this person's opinion of me? When you have when you have all of these people out there, these lefty social justice warriors, calling this young man a white supremacist for no reason, because he shot a ginger pedophile who was trying to attack him, and they're taking the side of the pedophile. Shouldn't surprise us. I mean, the left, they've been flirting with the pedophilia thing for a long time now. And, it is what it is. And thirdly, no, Christians cannot have any political opinion that they want. We might be able to disagree on some things. There might be some things where you say, hey, yeah, this is something we can disagree on and still be Christians. But if your opinion is that schools should be having pornography in the library or babies should be having their legs torn off, I mean, sorry, that's not something you can support as a Christian. Just because you say it's a political thing, guess what? It's not. And those of you who say, oh, well, that's just your opinion, Greg, go look at what R.C. Sproul had to say about this. R.C. Sproul said that any church that does not regularly preach against abortion has ceased to be a church. So I'm going to leave that here, and thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. It's greenslug.com, and slug is spelled with 2 G's. If you go to the homepage of my website, you'll be able to sign up for my newsletter there. And you should also see towards the top a tab that says newsletter. And if you click on that, you'll be able to sign up for the newsletter as well. Now, I am hoping sometime in the future to give my website an overhaul. So if you're watching this video a little later in the future, still go to greenslug.com, and the interface might be a little bit different, but you should still be able to sign up for my newsletter pretty easily. Remember, that's greenslug.com, but slug is spelled with 2 G's. So greenslug.com if you want to think of it that way. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Greg, out.